Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Paul.
Welcome to Coffee Concert number 4, our final concert of the 2020 season. I'm really glad you could join us. As was the case with the 2 previous concerts, we didn't record them all in one day. In fact, we have put footage together of various segments recorded over the past few months, some of them intended originally for other projects, but I think they hold together really well, all under the umbrella of coffee concerts. There is a fly that makes a prominent appearance in this coffee concert. I hope you don't find it distracting. I kind of find it fun. But I think one of the days we were recording, we must have been at peak fly season. So I hope you enjoy that. And as was the case with the last couple of concerts, Jay Turvey makes an appearance, and I failed to introduce him. So he is about to appear, and why don't I take this chance right now to say, please welcome Jay Turvey.
Why, look who's at the screen door.
Marie Mahabal.
Hi, Marie. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. And you're here because you want to sing a song for us?
Yes.
And will you tell us what it is?
I'm going to be singing If I Loved You from Carousel.
Gorgeous, by Rodgers and Hammerstein, written in 1945. And can you tell us what you like about this song?
I love the line of the song, If I Loved You. It's timeless, it's legato, there's space, it's emotional. And I also love the storytelling aspect of it, this If I Loved You. This kind of coy push and pull that we see a lot in Golden Age musical theater of a little game of not being able to say, well, I love you, or this is how I love you, or I love you, but if I did.
Yeah, there's quite a few songs like that.
Yes,
If Ever I Would Leave You, I've got a few notes here. If I Were a Rich Man, there's something about the if that allows that person to think even bigger than if the event actually were happening. It allows for a huge imagination.
And it's also a good word of limitation in a way, that because of it being conditional. It reminds me a bit of songs like People Will Say We're in Love, or Almost Like Being in Love. And it puts those characters in a great place. You mentioned push and pull, so that we, the listener, or we, the audience, wonder where the characters are going to go. And I think especially in a song like this, I like to think with this song, we move from the character choosing to sing the song, and as it progresses, it's almost like the song begins singing the character until it's at that very big, vulnerable moment at the end, and then there's a kind of retraction. The character gains control again of the situation, but it's sort of like what the power of music can do to a character.
It's beautiful, yeah.
That introductory verse is so cool, I think, as well. Just what's happening underneath the melody, which is this almost factory-like precision. And then the moment the character enters into the song proper, it just becomes, as you said, so expansive, like she's walked out of the doors of the factory and she's just free to express herself.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth saying, since we've been talking about introductory verses, that this is part of a larger segment in the show, the If I Loved You sequence, where there are many, many different musical sections. Some come back, some don't come back, and then within it you get 2 iterations of the song proper. So really all the material that surrounds those 2 iterations serve in a way as that kind of introductory verse.
Gorgeous. Well, without further ado, let's hear the song.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
When I worked in the mill, weaving at the loom, I'd gaze absent-minded at the roof, and half the time the shuttle to tangle in the threads, and the warp get mixed with the woof. If I loved you, but somehow I can see just exactly how I'd be. If I loved you, time and again I would try to say all I'd want go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me, off you would go in the mist of day, never, never to know how I loved you. If I loved you.
Marie, that was just beautiful. Thanks so much for singing for us.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you around.
So the next song that we're going to do for you is My Funny Valentine by Richard Rodgers and Lawrence Hart. It's from 1937 and it's from the musical Babes in Arms.
And once again, we're going to be talking about the introductory verse. And this introductory verse is really interesting. It has almost an Elizabethan feel to it in terms of the melody, wouldn't you say?
Melody and chords. And I would say it perfectly matches the language. The first lyric of the introductory verse is behold. And there are lyrics like thou, thou knowest not, that kind of thing.
But the kicker is, at the very end, they say, and slightly dopey gent, which I think is just so smart to immediately just bring us into the present after all of this kind of arcane language. Very smart.
I think it's a really interesting song in terms of how the lyrics and music intersect. It's a great lyric because it is very romantic, but part of the construction is the person singing the song is saying, you have deficiencies, you are not perfect, and here is a list of the things that's wrong with you. And yet, I love you and wouldn't want you to be any different. Richard Rodgers, I think wisely in the music, supports that latter idea that I wouldn't want anything different. And I think it speaks to the power of music because so many people, when they think of My Funny Valentine, they just think, oh, it's a really romantic song, and they forget about the laundry list of deficiencies.
Also, as a singer, I just want to say, when you dive into the song proper, you literally feel like you're diving into this very romantic lagoon on that you're my funny Valentine. There's just something very satisfying about being able to swim in this romantic atmosphere.
I like that lagoon.
Do you?
I do. Finally, I'm just going to nerd out for like 20 seconds. Another thing that's worth looking at, I think, in this song is how it's constructed melodically. It's so clever, and I think it's what makes the song and many songs of the period so memorable. And so if we look at the melody to My Funny Valentine, now we get a leap. Now we get that whole thing repeated, but up a third.
And the bridge has a very similar kind of thing.
Yes, happens in the bridge as well. Now we're going to go up. We're going to go up one more time. And that's where the nerding out ends. Let's do the song.
Right.
Okay.
Behold the way our fine feathered friend his virtue doth parade. Thou knowest not, my dim-witted friend, the picture thou hast made. Thy vacant brow and thy tousled hair conceal thy good intent. Thou noble, upright, truthful, sincere, and slightly dopey gent, you're my funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine. You make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Paul.
Welcome to our coffee concert.
Great, thank you.
I want everyone to know that Pat was my music intern in 2018 here at the Shaw Festival. Then in 2019, he was our music director for A Christmas Carol. And in 2019 and 2020, this year, he's been a singing teacher for our ensemble. So I'm thrilled to have you on this coffee concert this year.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be able to do this.
Great.
And just as you were saying that, I was remembering our coffee concert in 2018.
That's right. That's why I
Strauss.
said our coffee concert this year. So we're going to be singing some Schumann songs to start off. Robert Schumann. What do you love about these songs? What do you want to tell us about them, Pat?
These were some of the, so these are German Lieder. They're composed in 1840 was the year they were composed, which is actually the year Schumann got married too. I always find it interesting to look at what was going on in the composer's life during the time the songs were being published.
I think they call it his year of song because he wrote a lot of songs in that particular year.
Yes, absolutely. So it was, of course, a very joyful year for him, I would imagine. Perhaps not, but he also, for several years before this and beyond his marriage for many, many years, he struggled with pretty severe mental health problems. So I think there's a really interesting dichotomy that would have gone into this music emotionally from him. Waldes Gesprecht, which is I think the second song in the group, was one of the first songs that I sang in university, first German songs at Western. And what I just loved the poetry of it. I love the conversation between two people and how the hunter at the beginning is kind of going after the woman and he says, it's so late, it's so cold, let me help you out. And by the end of the song, the woman, who turns out to be a witch, says, it's so late, it's so cold, and you're never going to leave these woods again. So that's kind of what got me hooked into these songs.
That's great.
Something that I love about this group of songs as a whole, and there's 12 songs, I find them very realistic, and for me that makes them very emotional. I think Schumann is very good at creating a relationship between his melodies and text by writing in a way that's almost like the way we speak. There's not a lot of repeated text. There's also not a lot of ornamentation, so every note, or every syllable rather, is getting one, maybe two notes, unlike, you know, some of the stuff that you're used to hearing before this, like Handel, rejoice, rejoice, rejoice greatly, just
Right.
repetition, right? Also, the range of the vocal writing in this set of songs is quite narrow. It doesn't go too high or too low very often, which I think is very similar to how we speak. So by kind of keeping those things in mind, I think he really elevates the text. And that's what I love most about this group of songs. It's the poetry and how Schumann can elevate the poetry.
That's great, Pat. I'm going to nerd out for just a minute here, perhaps, because it's always really satisfying digging into beautiful songs like this. And the piano writing is exquisite. And as I'm working on these accompaniments, I'm always looking for clues in the lyric that will help me understand how I should play it. So just a few things that I noted in these songs. In the first song, part of the poetry, and Pat will give you a translation of the lyrics before he sings each song. This caught my eye. Beautiful forests, loneliness shall rustle. And that rustle really unlocked the piano part for me because it's constant eighth notes moving. And I think that creates that feeling of rustle. The first song we're going to do, the chords are fantastic. The harmonic progressions are fantastic. It reminds me a bit at times of Radiohead in terms of really good chords. And there's one particular section that sounds very Radiohead to me that comes right on the heels of what I think is a quote of the Beethoven Pathetique Sonata, the slow movement, in a different key, of course. But that rustle really sort of keyed me in and dropped me into that first song. In the second song, which Pat talked about, I love it as well. It's so nuanced and has so many layers to it. We hear a hunting horn, and so yes, it's a dialogue between a man and a woman, the woman who turns out to be the witch Lorelei. And what I love is that he has a certain kind of music that is dotted rhythms, and it has that hunting horn feel to it. When she sings, she's always singing to steady eighth notes, so it's much more calm and serene. And as Pat noted, we go from he says to she says to he says to she says, and when the hunted, which is the witch Lorelei, becomes the hunter and she overcomes him, she finally switches to dotted rhythms, and we go out on that sort of hunting music, but it's marked piano. So it's quiet, it's in the distance, it's almost filmic the way that this song kind of disappears on us. Anyway, those are things that got me extremely excited about the song. In our third song, Die Stille, a lyric that was really instrumental for me, no pun intended, is no one knows or guesses. And that notion of having a secret or something that you would have to guess at, for me, that helps me understand the sparseness of the piano part and the staccato in the piano part, because it suggests that sense of secret. Except for there's this one breakout section in the middle, and then it's back to something much more buttoned up and contained. In the fourth song, Mondnacht, I think every composer and every performing artist needs to have something in their toolkit, and that is a sense of being able to keep things aloft, to keep things up in the air, to keep the phrases flowing forward but never touching down or rarely touching down. It's definitely there in Schumann's writing. just this sense of constant eighth notes again, but that just keep things in the air, these beautiful long phrases and aching harmonies. And for me, the thing that got me into the song was the first lyric. It was as if the sky had quietly kissed the earth. And so Schumann writes this gorgeous downward melody for the piano that goes from the sky to the earth. So that's something you can listen for. And finally, in the last song, Wehmut, it's about joy and it's about sorrow. And one of the things I love about it, it's a very simple song, and I love that Schumann's not afraid to be simple, but he puts it in the major key, which I think is interesting. I don't know if that means in the end, maybe joy gets 51%, sorrow 49%, not sure, but notable for me that it's in the major key. So I think we should sing some songs.
In a foreign place. From the direction of home, behind the red flashes of lightning, there come clouds. But father and mother are long dead. No one there knows me anymore. How soon will that quiet time come, when I too shall rest, and over me the beautiful forest's loneliness shall rustle. And no one here shall know me anymore. No one here shall know me anymore.
Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzen rot, da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot, es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, ach wie bald kommt die stille Zeit, da ruhe ich auch, da ruhe ich auch. Und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit, die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier.
Forest Conversation. It is already late. It is already cold. Why do you ride alone in the woods? The woods are vast and you are alone. You fair bride, I will lead you home. Great is the deceit and cunning of men. My heart is broken from pain. The forest horn strays here and there. Oh flee, you know not who I am. So richly decked are mount and lady, so wondrously fair is the young form. Now I recognize you. God, stand by me. You are the witch Lorelei. You know me well. You know me well. From the lofty cliffs, my castle gazes down into the Rhine. It is already late. It is already cold. You shall never leave this wood again.
Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt. Was reist du einsam durch den Wald? Der Wald ist lang, du bist allein. Du schöne Braut, ich will dich heim. Groß ist der Männer Trug und List, vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist. Wo irrt das Waldhorn her und hin? Oh flieh, oh flieh, du weißt nicht, wer ich bin. So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Pfad, so wunderschön der junge Leib. Jetzt kenn ich dich, Gott, steh mir bei, du bist die Hexe Lorelei. Du kennst mich wohl, von hohem Stein schaut still mein Schloss tief in den Rhein. Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt. Kommst nimmermehr aus diesem Wald, nimmermehr aus diesem Wald.
Silence. No one can know or guess how glad I am, so glad. Alas, if only one could know it, just one, no other soul should need to know it. The snow outside is not so quiet, nor as mute and silent are the lofty stars compared with my thoughts. I wish it were morning already. Up would fly 2 larks, flying over each other, and my heart would follow their course. I wish I were a little bird. I would fly over the sea, well across the sea and beyond, until I were in heaven. No one knows or guesses how glad I am, so glad. Alas, if only one could know it, just one, no other soul should need to know.
Es weiß und rät es doch keine, wie mir so wohl ist, so wohl. Ach, wüsst es nur einer, kein Mensch es sonst wissen sollt. So still ist nicht draußen im Schnee, so stumm und verschwiegen sind die Sterne nicht in der Höhe, als meine Gedanken sind. Ich wünschte, ich wär ein Vöglein und zöge über das Meer, wohl über das Meer und weile, bis dass ich im Himmel wär. Es weiß und rät es doch keine, wie mir so wohl ist, so wohl. Ach, wüsst es nur einer, kein Mensch es sonst wissen sollt. Kein Mensch es sonst wissen sollt.
Moonlit night. It was as if the sky had quietly kissed the earth, so that, glistening with blossoms, she must only dream of him. The breeze wafted through the fields, the ears of corn waved gently, the forests rustled faintly, so sparkling clear was the night. And my soul stretched its wings out far. It flew through the still lands as if it were flying home.
Es war, als hätte der Himmel die Erde still geküsst, dass sie im Blüten Wolkenschimmer von ihm nur träumen müsst. Die Luft ging durch die Wände, die Ähren wogten sacht. Es rauschten leis die Wände, so sternklar war die Nacht. Und meine Seele spannte weit ihre Flügel aus, flog durch die stillen Lande, als flöge sie nach Haus.
Melancholy. Sometimes I can sing as if I were happy, but secretly tears well up and free my heart. The nightingales, when spring breezes play, let their songs of yearning resound from the depths of their dungeons. Then all hearts listen, and everyone rejoices, but no one truly feels the anguish of the song's deep sorrow.
Ich kann wohl manchmal singen, als ob ich fröhlich sei, doch heimlich Tränen dringen, da wird das Herz mir frei. Es lassen Nachtigallen, spielt draußen Frühlingsluft, Sehnsucht Liederschalen aus ihres Kerkers Gruft. Da lauschen alle Herzen und alles ist erfreut, doch keine fühlt die Schmerzen im Lied, das tiefe
So Pat, let's do some Mozart.
Great.
This is from an aria from Mozart's The Magic Flute, and Pat's going to tell you more about it. The only thing I wanted to say is that it's always a joy to play Mozart. This is obviously a reduction of what the orchestra would be doing. It's always fun to try to somewhat play orchestrally, but you can never fully achieve that on a piano. So you're kind of one foot doing that, and one foot, I'm playing piano, I'm making it sound as good as possible on piano. But the writing is just so full of joy and life that it's just always a pleasure to enter into the world of Mozart and bring that alive on the piano. So Pat, what do you want to tell us about this aria?
I wanted to just quickly talk about the librettist of the whole opera, whose name is Schikaneder, and he was a close friend of the Mozart family and a collaborator of Mozart. When this opera premiered, Schikaneder was actually the actor who played the role of Papageno. And because he was mostly an actor and not as much of a singer, at least compared to the other opera singers of the day, Mozart wrote his music to be very singable and quite simple. It's not complex vocal music by any stretch of the imagination. So I'll just give a quick synopsis of what's going on in this aria. Papageno enters the stage searching for his love, Papagena, and he's a bird catcher, so he's playing his flute or his panpipes to try and lure her. And to no avail, he doesn't find her. He hasn't found her this whole opera. So he gets very upset with himself and upset with the world, and actually decides that he's going to end his life. And he's quite serious about this, but because he's such a simpleton, he just has a hard time doing it. So he says, I'm going to try 3 more times, and if nobody answers me after I call out 3 times on my flute, then that's it, I'm going to hang myself. And sure enough, nobody calls out, so he's going to go and do the deed. And that's where our aria stops. But in the opera, there's a much happier ending where the gods intervene and forgive him for all of his failures, and he lives happily ever with Papagena. Anyway, so there is a happy ending.
Good, happy ending. I like that.
Great, so shall we do the aria?
Let's do the aria.
Awesome.
Papagena, Papagena, Papagena. Weibchen, Täubchen, meine Schöne, vergebens. Ach, sie ist verloren, ich bin zum Unglück schon geboren. Ich plauderte, und das war schlecht. Und drum geschieht es mir schon recht, Seit ich gekostet diesen Wein, seit ich das schöne Weibchen sah, so brennt's im Herzenskämmelein. So zwickt's hier, so zwickt's da. Papagena, Herzensweibchen, Papagena, liebes Täubchen. Sitzt umsonst, es ist vergebens, müde bin ich meines Lebens. Sterben macht der Lieb ein End, wenn's im Herzen noch so brennt. Diesen Baum, da will ich zieren, mir an ihm den Hals zu schnüren, weil das Lebens mir missfällt. Gute Nacht, du schwarze Welt, weil du böse an mir handelst, mir kein schönes Kind zu bandelst. So ist aus, so sterbe ich. Schöne Mädchen, denkt an mich, schöne Mädchen, denkt an mich. Will sich eine mich armen, hey, keine noch erbarmen, wo soll das ich diesmal sein? Ruf ich nur ja oder nein, ruf ich nur ja oder nein. Keiner hört mich, alles stille, 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 also ist ich eure Wille. Papageno, frisch hinauf, ende deinen Lebenslauf. Papageno, frisch hinauf, ende deinen Lebenslauf. Nun, ich warte noch, nun, ich warte noch. Nun, es sei, bis man zählet. 1, 2, 3. 1. 2. 3. Nun wohlan, es bleibt dabei. Nun wohlan, es bleibt dabei. Weil mich nichts zurückhält. Gute Nacht, du schwarze Welt. Gute Nacht, du schwarze Welt.
Well, that's it. The end of Coffee Concert number 4, our last coffee concert of the 2020 season. I'd like to thank Patrick Bowman for joining me in this last selection of songs on this concert. I would like to thank all of the artists who have appeared in all 4 concerts and for their wonderful contributions. And I'd also like to give a big special thanks to all of the sound and video technicians who've worked tirelessly to get these concerts together and we can present them the way we have this season digitally. So thank you to them. Thank you to all of you for joining us and see you next season.